Good day, gamers. PurpleMentat here, bringing you episode 6 of FortressCraft Evolved. Last time we got to see our first wasp attack, which we handily put down. Since then, there's been another attack roughly every 15 minutes or so, but they're not very dangerous yet. I mostly ignore them at this point and let the guns clean them up, and then grab whatever I can that has fallen down. I do need to set up some automated collection of the drops at some point, but it's hard to determine exactly where things are going to die, and I don't know. I need to do some experiments. Basically, as it says when you point at a storage hopper, you can press Shift-E to toggle vacuum mode status on. Let me take this a little ways away so that nothing gets completely messed up. And with vacuum mode status, it will pick up nearby items. Need to throw things from the inventory. And you can see it literally pulls them closer to it until it picks them up. So, yeah. It's a definite upgrade of my capabilities to be able to automatically pick up the drops that the wasps are giving. Now, I did get a couple of cool things. The pristine faceted eye and the perfect faceted eye that I'll be able to use. We researched the organic lenses. The pristine lets me make a crude lens that increases transmitter speed by 25%, crafting. And the organic lets me make the perfect lets me make the organic, the non-crude, which increases speed by 100%. Crafting. We're just going to toss those right onto these lasers here, because that's going to let them transfer more power into our research laboratory faster. I'm going to collect our intermediate miner upgrade, which we let finish overnight, and I have 5 basic experimental pods in there, so that... Ooh, intermediate miner upgrades too. Ooh, complex. That's starting to get expensive. We're going to start researching base building automation first. And we are now siphoning off 20, 30, 40, 52.5 power per second into our laboratory, and only generating 50 power per second with our 5 generators. So our power hub needs to get in on the game, or we need to give up that ghost and just start building more power, better storage, all of that sort of thing. You know, I could make a handful of more power blocks, but I'm really trying to avoid spending tin because I really want to get some automated harvesting going. As nice as it is to have stockpiles 100 watt large that I can go and collect by hand, it's time to start having the ore come to me. And to do that efficiently, we need conveyor belts. And as you can see, each conveyor belt costs 1 tin and 1 copper. I am going to go ahead and craft every conveyor belt I can, because I know that I don't have nearly enough to do everything I want with them already.
Crafting.
So, wait.
Crafting.
Oh.
Crafting.
There we go. Apparently you can't just type the number in. You can type the number in and hit automate and wait for it to finish. Well then. I'll keep that in mind for later. That could be potentially useful for the very large projects I'm going to have to do in the future. Well, first things first, let's start getting some tin brought home for us. Now, we saw that conveyors will happily pull out of a storage hopper and start transporting it wherever we put them. The other cool thing they will do, is they will happily stick to walls. And if you have them oriented facing upwards already, all you need to do is stand on top of the conveyor and start building. As long as you don't go too fast, they will all end up oriented upwards without you needing to do any other work than this. Of course, it helps if you actually have a wall to put them on that goes all the way up. You know what? That's not going to work right there. Alright, let's start that one over. Yeah, This is the problem with a 3-wide shaft, is you have to be very careful of where you place things. Now, at first, I'm just going to be using the one conveyor belt to bring the ore home. Later on, I'll be putting together a more complicated system. The other issue that I'm going to run into, especially with this tin vein, is we are deep enough for these guys to spawn. These are called Minox. Minox? I don't remember exactly. Anyway, the problem with those guys is they eat the ore that is on the belts, and they send it to the nearest hive. We need them to not exist. And the way I'm going to do that is, well, for now, I'm going to shoot them, and later on, I'm going to get myself a gun down here. Because with a laser, I don't have to worry about them. They're all going to get killed by the lasers. So I actually need to go back and collect one of those Mark II lasers and attach it to this power block here. And anytime you are below -80, and that is... Oh, here comes another attack. That is your depth from the central hub. Anytime you're below -80, they will spawn. There we are. So let's go get a laser and set that up a little bit better. We'll still lose some of our tin and lithium, because that's even lower. But it's not a problem. And later on, it won't be a problem at all, because we will surpass the technology that they can strip things off of the belts. I will take you with me. There we go. Alright, back to the mines! Now, you may notice that I've been slowly expanding this mine shaft over time. There's a reason for that. I'm going to be building a lift, and this side here is going to be where all the hardware goes. I think I'm going to have torches be on the left side and conveyors go down the middle. But I'm going to have to go down slowly and clear out any torches that are in the way. And then power can go down the... well, torches on the right, conveyors down the middle, and power down the left. That means I need to move that. Alright, so we need to move some things. Not a problem. And I want one there, and one here. No, here, so it's in line with the others. And to move you, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it out one block. Ow. I forgot to grapple. Painful. Come on now. There we go. Jeez, give me just a little extra boost. I know you can do it. We're gonna put our power block here. One laser here, pointed that way. And the other laser is gonna go below the power block. Hang on. There we are. That's better. No. Excellent. There we go. How low am I here? -84. That means that this is going to need defending. Nope, it's possible to get the... Okay, I'm going to need to move this later on. We're going to have to redesign that entirely so that we don't end up with the Minox spawning on the copper line. The iron line isn't going to care at all. it's high enough that the Minox won't spawn. There we go. That gets us back in action. I like how easy it is to move and redesign things in this game, kind of on an as-needed basis. You know, this means that this storage hopper needs to be over here at a minimum. Yeah. Okay. That should do for now. And we get our turret on there, and as you can see, the turret more than covers all of the area that's anywhere near these conveyors, and should do enough damage that how much damage do you do? It doesn't say on that. Damage 96 per shot. That should pretty much kill Minox, like, in a shot, maybe two. So, like I said, you just need to get this rotated the proper direction, and then you can place them just by clicking. I think that someone said something along the lines of you can get up to 130 clicks per second or minute without going faster than it can reorient them for you. So you don't really need to worry about going too fast. Alright, so that is enough to get just outside of the hole. Unfortunately, it's not enough to get our ore home. As you can see, we're going to need an awful lot of conveyors. You do have the option of building normal conveyors instead, but especially this central line, I definitely want to be the good ones, because that's where I'm going to be having all of the ore come through it first. I think I will use normals for... Oh, I don't have defenses out far enough. That's not good. I knew this was going to be a problem at some point, I just didn't take care of it in time. Alright, well, I can temporarily solve that by... what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? I am going to grab you. And... I think I will stick you right on this line. Yes, our turret will intercept power, and then we'll be able to target and kill the wasps. The turret can't accept power. Okay, no problem. I can fix this. I feel like I'm saying that a lot right now. Come with me if we want to live. Alright, there we go. Good, good, good. Because Spider Bro does his best, but there are limits to what Spider Bro can manage. You, and F7, 1, you. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to need to establish a defensive perimeter around the CPH instead of just attaching turrets to the CPH. That is going to require a different approach that I'm currently using. But that's going to require tin to build all of the power transfer that I'm going to need for it as well. So I'm not certain... you know what? I think that I'll be alright as long as I'm willing to move some stuff around when I get attacked. I can watch for which direction Spider Bro heads off in and follow him to deal with it. Make sure that I place defenses in that general orientation. Really gotta find a better way to collect all this stuff. And I think I need to build a larger flat plane for everything to be on. That, or I need to make... I wonder if these guys can shoot through walls, you know? That's a good question that I should answer. Let's try this. Let's try putting some rock down. Just a defensive perimeter of rock kind of deal. Make them come to me. It's really easy to build really high walls in this game, so why not try it? Because if we can make them come over the wall, well, they're at least coming around it. Then we can kind of channel them into a place where the lasers can hit them. Nice! Using my tower defense experience. Yeah, this is working out pretty well. There. I will leave an intentional gap in the wall for them to come through, where the lasers are close enough for them to be shot. I can probably put windows in the wall to send my lasers through so that I don't have to keep an opening. Like my power lasers, I mean. Oh no! No, 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 no! No! I lost. CPH rebooting. Darn. There is a mode that if your CPH runs out of health, you lose. You're out. World deleted. It's basically the hardcore of this game. Ah, I'm glad that I'm not playing on that mode. No threats detected, because the CPH isn't up. And yeah, as long as that's down, I basically... I don't know, do I not get power? Can it not use power? Maybe the more power it has, the faster it reboots. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm making it reboot faster by adding power. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to rethink this. I need to get people... I need to get the wasps dead when they come close enough, and they have better range than my turrets right now. Maybe when I have better turrets, I'll have better range than them, but that is not currently the case. So these turrets on the side of the CPH are basically pointless. They do nothing for me. Darn. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do some collecting of tin and some thinking of how I'm going to set everything up. Ooh, we can collect our base automation research. Let's see what we can do with that now. We have a whole bunch of recipes we need to research, and I have no research points. Something tells me it's time to start going deeper. Alright, I'm going to make some plans, and I'm going to get things put together, and I'll be back soon. Alright, so that was a bit of a mess. I'm definitely going to be working on that sometime, but now is not that time. So, let's go ahead and finish as much of the conveyor as we can afford at the moment. And there we go. Now we can start running it this way. It's getting closer and closer to base. There we go. Unfortunately, we don't have an easy way to build long conveyor lines yet. Fortunately, we just researched one, which is part of the first tier of base automation upgrades. We can run it along this side here. And now we're out of basic conveyor belts and waiting for tin. Which is, you know, all of the tin, it's almost home. Someday, someday. Heck, we probably have a backlog of tin down here. Okay. Let's see what we can do about this copper situation. Because it's bad, wrong, in the wrong place. We need the extractor to be up here. Because this is negative 81, so one block higher than this, we should not see any of the nasty spawning. So actually, we can put it here and one higher, maybe? No, that won't work. because we need the collector next to the extractor if we're going to bring power down to the extractor. So now it's time to dig up a bit and bring power down, which is more challenging than... It's not as simple as just, and power goes down now. Yay! No, we need to move things again. Or we need to make another laser, which I'd hate to make another laser just for this little copper vein. But I don't think I have a choice in the matter. So yeah, for now, it'll get one laser pointed towards it at about the same level as that. There we go. And we will fill in the hole that we made and set up to put a laser here. Or another power cell, whichever one I end up with first. Now, for conveyors, we might as well get these set up in advance. Sure this is pointing a useful direction. It is. Good. Oh, I think I missed one. Nope, we're good. Awesome. Conveyors will basically act kind of like a magic block. As long as a conveyor is pointing into another conveyor, it doesn't really matter the orientation. They will transfer between them, which is just great. So I'm going to keep working on the conveyor system and spend more tin getting everything put together. You see now why I didn't want the basic conveyors being my primary mode of conveyance, huh? They do not move quickly. But I don't mind having my iron and my copper go from where they're being mined to the baseline using them. And when I come back, we will put together a better defense setup and start on some new projects. And probably do some exploring, because I really need to get some more research points, and that means I need to go deeper and find more unknown blocks. I'll return shortly. Alright, looks like we're in good shape now. We have our blocks flowing. We've got our gun placed at just about exactly -100, so that it should be able to cover the entirety of the conveyor belt that's under threat. We have moved our copper so that it is heading home. Crud. We have watched PurpleMentat fail at grappling again. And again. And again. I need to build a lift. I really need to build a lift. It's bad. And this conveyor is not spawning Minox. Life is good. Back home, well, you should head there. I should walk. There's a bit of an exploit with the AFK command that I use to have that spinny camera goodness happen, where it will teleport you home if there's no fight going on. However, I'm trying to avoid using that because I want that command to continue to exist. And yeah. We do need to replace more of these conveyors with better conveyors as time goes on. But at the moment, the basics are mostly keeping up with the ore extractors. It's not 100%. They are definitely... Well, actually, it looks like this one is perfectly keeping up, judging by the little groups of 4 that are coming out of this. So yeah, as long as the upstairs doesn't get backlogged, then the downstairs won't get backlogged either. It looks like on fast conveyors, the basic conveyors can easily keep up with, hang on, how many spaces we got between? 1, 2, 3, 4, with a double speed standard extractor. And how many spaces we got there? I'm not certain. The one down there, the extractor for the tin, I believe, is already double speed. So that would be why that one is saturated. See, every now and then I pull off a beautiful shot like that, and I love it. One thing I did add to save a conveyor belt was an upslope conveyor. These are craftable using just a bit of copper and an already crafted conveyor belt right in your movement section. It's about, if you can use a lot of the upslopes, which I could be doing, I could go back and redesign this whole run to use a bunch of upslopes, and I might, because it would be more resource efficient overall. Wow, yeah, awesome. Now we're going to change you to add only as well. Now we have up to 200 bars that will be able to be stored. So I might spend some time building a upslope focused conveyor system, at least from the top of the surface level of the mine shaft over here up to the base. That would probably save me a good 10 or 15 conveyor belts at the cost of 10 or 15 copper bars. It seems worthwhile to me. It would also, of course, cost time, and time is that universal expense that is really hard to avoid. Right, I need to... This is why I had that guy up here on remove only, was so that I had a place to manually input ores, as I can't reach the downstairs from here. So we're going to set it back to remove only, just so that I continue to have a place where I can manually input ores. Because this conveyor belt will happily draw from this block, and both of the storage blocks will add into the ore smelter here. So, what is our next step? Well, we do need those research points. That is going to be very important. We have a whole bunch of research that I would very much like to get going, especially things like the auto excavator automatically digs a large vertical shaft, only digs upwards and requires power. The auto builder, place items along cardinal directions. Why build your own conveyor lines when a machine can do it for you? And being able to build our own manufacturing plants. And also there's the charged explosive. The charged explosive is potentially, it might allow us to, wow, they can charge up quite a bit. Very short fuse, blowing up your base by accident is a thing. Explosive can be charged using an adjacent power storage block, power generator, or via a laser energy transmitter. Maintain its charge while it is being carried to an alternative location, at which point it can be detonated using the alternative interact key. Every time the power stored multiplies by 10, the charge level will increase by 1. It may be possible to... well, let's find out. Let's see if we can blow up that resin with the charged explosive, because we're going to need to get through that at some point. Huh, neat. Resin is your garbage disposal, by the way. I mean, the macerator is your garbage disposal, by the way. Only explosives will crack it open. Okay, so that might be our first chance to start killing some of the hives. So that's definitely high on my list of wants. And then the coal enricher, I don't have the recipe yet, but so I can't show you. Actually, I have exactly one research point. Charged explosive. What do I need to make a charged explosive? You can, when your recipes start to get too long, hit the question mark and search through them on the bottom there. Chargeable explosive requires lithium plate, an unknown material, and copper wire. Well then, I guess it's time to go looking. We will definitely have to get deeper, find out what the other research opportunities below us are. And I think that we're going to set up the laboratory to continue with the minor upgrades for the time being. Well, there's not a lot of point in researching more things until I can actually spend the research points on the recipes. Because unlocking the projects doesn't do a lot on its own. Ooh, magnetic drill motor. Improve collector speed to 800% at the cost of increased power. And we still don't have a better cutter head, just the organic. Well, let's see if we did unlock a new... any new mining recipes. Oh, we unlocked the enhanced drill motor, which goes at 400%, and the Mark II induction, which we need more tin for, because we need more tin for everything. I'm not bitter. Only a little. Maybe a little. So yeah, I definitely need to get down underground, but before that, I need to tear this apart and set up some base defenses that will actually, you know, defend me. What I'm considering at this point is to go effectively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 diagonally from the base, because if I've got this figured right, that will leave a small number of blocks in between that they'll be able to double cover. 1, 2, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct? Yes. And then 649 becomes 633. So 16 blocks in between means that the lasers should extend a little further than they should overlap just slightly. So like the ones over here will be able to hit anything that comes close to these lasers. Because I have noticed that, I thought I noticed, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, no, the lasers don't have a health pool. Interesting. So they're not something that can be destroyed. I mean, that's good news for me. Wow, this thing puts out ore fast. I'm rather happy. Unfortunately, it's not nearly fast enough. I think I'm going to have to build that upgraded induction item as soon as possible, because it's not keeping up with the ore production I already have. Going to need a couple more tin bars for that. And honestly, setting up base defenses is more important to me. Well, no, because until I crack that 100%, they're not going to come after me again. So I've got some time to spend some things on other ideas. Alright, I'll be back soon. Actually, no, I won't. I will be back next time, as we are quite over time. So you've seen my plan for the lasers. We're going to have a power storage block underneath each of these, and turrets here, here, and here. And then I'm going to have the power lasers beaming between all of them and coming from the power generation station to all of them. It's going to take quite a bit of tin to make all of these upgrades happen. Let me show you my exact plans for that, because these guys, they have a potential to hold 200 power each, and I want them to have enough power to make it through a fight without me needing to constantly manually recharge them. So I want Power Storage Mark II for all of them, which is going to take a total of 16 tin, 16 copper, 8 lithium, plus another 5 tin. So 8 lithium, 16 copper, 21 tin per Power Storage Mark II. But the Power Storage Mark IIs can hold 1,500 rather than the 800 that we're replacing. These guys are beefy. I can burn through a lot of power trying to get one charged up. And I'm barely even affecting the indicator. But now we have some nice charged lasers on the corner. I'm going to do that for all 4 corners. I'm going to set up... We'll deal with the Mark I laser transmitters for now, because the Mark IIs are requiring titanium and nickel that I haven't even found yet. Another reason that I need to get down there and digging. And just do our best to... Yeah, I'm going to have to reorganize things a bit. That's all there is to it. This needs to be moved away from the hub a little bit. I think that we'll set up... probably set up power generation on this side in general. And, yeah. A lot of changes that'll be made, but I'm going to be doing a bunch of fiddly stuff in between episodes, so don't worry about that. So, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If so, please leave me that thumbs up and tell me what you liked about it, and if not, please leave me that thumbs down and tell me what you'd like to see me do better. Either way, please hit subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos in the future, and I'll see you next time.